Arianna, and this is This One Life, the podcast where we untangle the beautiful mess of being a woman in our 30s. I think mindset, self growth, and the stuff that no one warns us about. Today, we are getting into long distance friendship. But first, let's do an introduction. Ariana, do you want to start?
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Arianna, I'm 32 and I'm living in Italy. What about you, Cree?
Yeah, so my name is Christine. I just turned 30 and I live just outside the capital of Norway. It's called Oslo, for those who don't know. I feel like this is just like the tip of the iceberg, though, those labels. But with those labels, you can organize us in a little box.
So, what about ourselves? Like, why the two of us together? Why an Italian and a Norwegian girl doing a podcast today?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird mix, right? Very random. I think we should start with how we met.
I think so, yeah. When it was, I think it was September 2017, right?
Yeah. So we were both exchanging in Australia, Sydney, and we went to this random toga party, right? That's where we met.
Yeah, that where it was. I remember it was a party, but since we were going to many parties, I didn't recall like the exact one, but now I remember which one we're
It
talking
was a
about.
toga party, and I was so unsure of my outfit. It was actually my first toga party.
Same for me. I think I just went to Target the same day and I bought this single white bed sheet and
Yeah,
I just
same.
dropped it out and it was good.
It looks fine. But yeah, we just like stumble up on each other, right?
I think we had probably some friends in common. I mean, probably calling them friends since we were just arrived there like 1 month and a half before. Maybe it's a bit strange to say, but yeah, like we had some people in common and then I think we just met there and we started talking and then I don't know, the rest was history.
The rest was history. I think we actually decided to meet up the day after or something. But I don't remember if it was like a pizza date, like a lunch date, or if it was like a breakfast.
No, probably I remember now what it was. I think we went to the chocolate place at the mall.
Ah,
I don't remember the name of the place at the Macquarie Mall, but I remember we went to this place and it was everything about chocolate and we had this fondue with marshmallow
oh
and
my
fruit.
gosh.
And of course, one thing that really bonded us was food. It still bonds us.
Yeah. I feel like it needs to be put out there. We are both Tauruses, and Tauruses loves food.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
and
that's
nice
definitely like
things.
and nice and shiny things. We love that. So shopping and chocolate was definitely like the best ideal first date.
That's so true. I remember we went to so many like shopping sprees at the mall and I remember also we like used to take the bus and go super like long distance just to find like the perfect cafe place to drink coffee and try that special donut or almond croissant.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We just like went food shopping.
But we also went a lot, like attended a lot the library. We have to say that.
Yeah, we did. But we went the extra mile and met up like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning and had like our croissant date before the day started.
So true. Before we went to
Yeah.
study to the library, it was so
Wow.
cute. Oh.
Yeah, we were very determined. No, but I really feel like we have a really true, genuine friendship on a soul level. I feel like we're really connected, and it's just can't really describe it.
That's true. It
Yeah.
was just as we were meant to meet and continue this friendship over the years.
So, what do you think? Why did we start this podcast?
I would say, of course, we are going to talk about that later, but since we kept meeting over the years and we kept talking, even if it was not like in real circumstances, but in like on video chat, we always talked about life, our expectation, what happened, which books we were reading, and what does that was what the, sorry.
Yeah, but also like all our problems and like we have
Yeah.
untangled things together so
Yeah.
much.
Our
And
challenges.
definitely.
Yeah, I think our conversation were actually interesting, and we thought like maybe other women are having the same like issues or experiences, and probably they would benefit by listening to like a podcast friend talking about that.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like everyone should have a friend like us. And we are talking about so interesting topics and untangle like issues and challenges that I feel like are very real for women in their 30s. Probably women all over, but definitely in our age group. Yeah, everyone should have access to these conversations because maybe they can help someone.
And also, I think even if we are really similar, we are soulmates and we have so much in common, we also bring a different perspective because we live in two different places. The reality is a little bit different. So I think a lot of girls, women can probably listen to what we say and think like, I kind of know what they mean, or I think it could be helpful.
I would also love to create a community, right? So everyone can talk to each other and help each other, support each other, because we're all in this
Yeah.
together, really.
Yeah, and especially sometimes, even if you have friends that are like close to you in a sense of like geography, it doesn't really mean that you can share with them some deeper thoughts on some issues. And yeah, like in our case, that we relied on each other even if we were not living close together.
You're so right. Let's dive into the topic long distance friendship because we do have some experience there.
Yeah. So I would say that we we started hanging out, as we were saying before, in September, roughly in September 2017, and probably we spent every day together at uni almost, and also
Yeah.
in the weekends and partying, and yeah, we were just basically living together even if we were not living in the same house, but we were spending a lot of time together. And then, unfortunately, our time together came to an end. I think it was January of 2018 because you had to go back to Oslo, and instead, I stayed in Sydney for another semester. It was so sad.
So sad, heartbreaking. But we still continue to keep in touch.
And it was so natural. I mean, it was never an effort, I think, for for us, right?
No, I agree.
So, of course, it was not easy because we had different time zones and we couldn't live together that, like, what was happening in our daily life as we were doing before. But still, I think it was not really an issue for us, right?
No, so what did we do? Like we scheduled um, video chats and we kind of
Yeah.
kept it frequently.
Yeah, and I think we were all the time, like, we are really loyal people as we are Taurus. And when we were scheduling like a video chat or like a meeting, we stick to that. It was, yeah, it was important as if it was like an in person meeting with someone else.
I want to bring up like that's definitely a challenge when it comes to video chats and stuff like that. Like it's so easy to just say, "Oh, it's been a day. I'm so tired and I don't have energy for this." That's
Yeah,
like
so
definitely one
true.
of the challenges.
And I think also sometimes, or at least what happened to me with other friends, was that when something else came up in their life, like in their, like, I would say real life, but it's not the right word. They were like, oh, I know we had to video chat tonight, but that friend invited me for dinner, so I'm going there. As if like the two appointments, the two dates were not on the same level because one was
Mm.
not real. Instead, the other one was more like real. But to me, there was no difference.
Yeah, so definitely one tip is treat it equal.
Yeah.
Treat it equally, like any other friend you would meet up in, yeah, physically. Treat that appointment as it would be with a yeah, friend close by.
Yeah.
But also, we can talk a little bit about the challenges with long distance friendship. Definitely, we mentioned one, that's the time zone. That's the hard one. You just need to figure out the time that works for you. We have the same time zone right now because you live in
Yeah.
Italy and me in Norway, but we have figured out a time that works for us. And
Yeah.
that's like late evenings, nine
Yeah.
o'clock in the evening to be exact. That works for both of us.
Even if it's not like the easiest option, right? I mean, it takes effort because at the end of the day, you're tired, but still, if you have this commitment, you want to see your friend, you're doing it anyway. But of course, it's not
Exactly.
easy peasy.
It's actually very hard because for me, I've been like with both kids, I'm exhausted. And you are like commuting and yeah, it's it's hard, but as we said, like you need to just like stick to it.
Yeah. Yeah. As you would do to another friend, as you said, in like the physical reality.
Definitely. And also like if you're sick, of course, or if you're super tired, of course, like postpone it or just feel yeah, you need some flexibility there.
Of course.
But yeah, see it as another appointment with another physical friend.
I think it's everything goes down to having respect of the other person's time because probably that person, like your friend, set the time apart to be with you, even on Zoom or FaceTime. So I think you need to respect that time.
That's very true.
So I was thinking, like taking into consideration our relationship, did you feel that our bond was less strong given the fact that we didn't have the chance to meet that often? I mean, of course, we put the extra effort to meet every 1 to 2 years, like in physical presence, but like pregnancy, kids, work, a pandemic. It wasn't that easy, of course, always. But do you think that affected in some ways our relationship?
That's a good question. And I think no, that it has not because we have kept talking so frequently. The biggest like challenge though with living so far away from each other and not seeing each other so much is staying updated on each other's lives, like the small things. I feel like that one is very, very hard. And you need the other person to tell you what has happened or what they are going through because otherwise you wouldn't know. So you need both people to be a little bit more open and willing to share to keep the friendship so intimate and strong.
I think, yeah, as you said, you cannot just, when you meet on Zoom or FaceTime, just be like, yeah, nothing happened. You should want to talk about what happened, even if it looks like minor inconvenience or minor goals or minor achievements, but you need to share. As you would do it, I think in a couple, in a like partner relationship.
Probably treat it like that, like a long distance couple relationship. Because if the egg fell on the floor, like tell about it because it is kind of funny and it is understandable that you are frustrated about it. And yeah, definitely, like you need to share.
Also, in my opinion, I feel like distance has not affected in a negative way our friendship because I know that in both cases, like both of us, every time we try to meet or when we set some time to meet, like in the physical life, we are literally doing every effort to meet. For example, when you came to my wedding last year, I know it was a joint effort because you had one kid and it was a small kid, so you need also someone to take care of her. So you flew your in-laws to take care of her, and it was a big effort, like a joint effort. And I think that kind of things really show you that the other person care, even if you don't meet her that often.
Yeah, you definitely need to see what the other person is doing, like how much is trying to do to make it happen. But again, like I would do that for my best friend or my close ones, you know?
Well,
But yeah.
sometimes I must admit, but this probably can be a topic for another podcast, that I have friends that are living closer, and I would say like 3 hours train away from my city. And of course, you cannot meet every day, but every once in a while, I think it's definitely easier to meet them compared to meet you in Oslo. And still, I don't see them. Probably I see you more often. And that is really something that made me realize that not everyone is willing to put the effort, but that's okay.
That's okay, but that's really good to be aware of. And just make sure that there's a balance there, that you don't overdo it yourself and make yourself exhausted to meet that person when they're not like showing up so much for you. So let's answer this, or let's talk about this last question before we wrap up. What can we be better at? Because I always feel like there's something we can get better at.
And also, I think we need to touch this topic, otherwise, it looked like a celebration of ourselves and how good we are in keeping up with each other. So, no, we can definitely improve.
But everything has seasons, right? Like some seasons, one of us are super busy and can't meet up that often, which is understandable. So you just need to like be a little bit flexible. Everything changes all the time, right? So you have to be a little bit flexible. The routine cannot be the same again and again, like always be the same.
Yeah, I would say also always being honest, because sometimes it's just much easier to tell like a white lie and being like, oh no, I'm sorry, I cannot make it tonight because I'm sick, you know? It's something that can happen, but I think if you have a real friendship, it's just better to be like, I'm so tired today. Can we meet tomorrow? Probably for the other person doesn't make like it's not like a big difference. They are going to value your tiredness even if you are not sick, and they can understand you. And I know sometimes it happened to us that we were like, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. And the other person was like, I know, same. So let's just meet tomorrow. And it's just better, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. Being honest is definitely very, very important. Then you know you can trust the other one and it's not like a white lie or something. Another thing I think we can become a little bit better at is probably letting the other know in the moment when we are going through something. But that could be our personality types. Like, I feel like both of us are very like, we like to work through stuff and then we contact the other one and be like, hey, I've been through this. It was hard. But in that way, we're not able to show up for each other when we need it.
Yeah, that's so typical of us because we need time to elaborate first for ourselves and then to tell the other person. But in this way, you're not allowing your friend to be there for you. And it's so important because you're like shutting your friend out from what you're experiencing in the moment.
Right. And that's like a part of being a friend, right? To be there for the other one when they need it.
I also think that also probably in the long run makes the difference between experiencing things together even if you're not in the same place compared to just talking and have a collection of, okay, this and that happened, and it's just like, okay, you're just saying like a collection of episodes of your life, but you're not kind of allowing me to be in that.
Yeah, that's a big one. Let's try to commit to that.
And I think also connected to this, even if it's not easy because, like 5 years ago, there were just the two of us. Now we have a family. Now we have other people that are relying on us and we have like different duties. But I would love to see you more often, like in the physical life, but without, the pressure to, like, I think in friendship you don't need pressure, so but it would be nice to see us a little bit more
I would
often
love that
when we
too.
can.
Yes. A hard part about having a long distance friendship is definitely not being able to see and meet up and be surrounded by the ones that you care about in your life. Like I haven't met your dogs yet, even though you had them for so many years. And you
True.
had, yeah, and you're not able to be so close with my babies and making an even bigger effort to meet maybe more often in person will be really, really nice.
Yeah, true.
Hmm.
So let's wrap it up for this episode. And what are we going to talk in the next episodes? I think we have so many topics that we are really looking forward to dive in. We are going to talk about the big 30s, about expectations connected to life, career, friendship, of course. We are going to talk about marriage and also about us introverts surviving in extrovert world. So many topics.
Yes. I am so excited. Those topics sound so intriguing and fun, and I'm just excited to talk about them. Okay, guys, so that was our first episode. We hope you liked it. And if you really liked it, subscribe to the channel and please leave us a review on the platform that you use.